They had to paint me all day. It was this lady from England. They flew her over, and she does that very 3-dimensional. And she was so good and meticulous. It took all day to paint. All day.
That's amazing.
Nuts,
what did they paint on top of there, Rob?
Well, I have a like a unitard on from my from my neck down.
You can't say that.
That's politically incorrect to call it a unitard.
It's 2024, brother.
He's unitarded.
Ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome to another week of the X5 podcast. I'm David Lonham, one of your hosts. This room is so full today, it's going to be a 30-minute intro. I've never been in a studio that's this many people in here. We got Jeff, and we'll talk about what shirt he's wearing here in a little bit. Bert is here with us today. Cassio Kid is here. Charlie is here. Rob, our chef, is here. Scott Eason, comic, is here.
What's up, Scott?
Darren, musician and now podcaster, is here. And the guest of honor, you've seen him on Talladega Nights. You've seen him on The Hangover. You've seen him on Dumb and Dumber 2. You've seen him on a million movies. And now he has his own podcast called Riggle's Picks. Is that the name of it?
That's right, man.
Yes.
All right.
You were doing so well, and you fuck it up.
No, you nailed it.
The name of it.
Is that the name of it?
He's like, it's called Riggle's Picks.
And it is.
Darren,
It's actually called
the
Riggle's Picks with
musician.
3 question marks behind
I
it.
like the trick. Yeah, it's a question mark, right? Isn't that the way you do your
Three question marks.
Y'all welcome Rob Riggles, everybody.
What's
please.
up?
It sounds like we have 500 fucking people.
does.
Yeah.
We do.
Recording a live studio audience.
I told you it's time for us to get bleachers. We've got to get the bleachers.
Yes.
Got to make it like a network show now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time.
What's up, guys? What's going on, fellas?
Thanks for having us. First
Well, dude,
of all,
thanks for coming.
This is so cool. I got to
Thank you.
tell you, I've never seen a studio as cool as this.
Well, thank you so
and
much.
I've done a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
So this is by far the coolest studio I've ever been in.
You heard it here, guys. You heard it here.
So well done.
Thank
Hats off
you,
to you
man.
guys.
Thanks, dude.
I think that the coolest thing is that you happen to be here in Alabama.
Right.
I spoke with Charlie. Charlie and I are friends. I don't really like the other guys here, but I do like Charlie.
No, that's fair, totally fair.
You know, I'm just being real.
Yeah, be real,
this
man.
is the place to do it. I told Charlie that you're here, and he goes, "You think you'd want to do the podcast?" And it worked out serendipitously.
I know this. I was so happy because when Darren mentioned, I was like, I don't know, man. I'm going to be in Birmingham. I don't know what my schedule's going to be like.
Yeah.
And it turned out I got a day off, and I said, well, if you can do it on this day, and it all came together so beautifully. I feel very lucky that I was able to do this.
Dude,
so,
well, us too, man. We're so freaking
What were you in
excited.
town for? A tractor pull or what
Yeah,
it was?
I got a little John Deere. I like to tour around the country and enter in little contests like this, make a few bucks.
You know, why not? Why not?
He's really good at it.
I'm shooting a little indie film with Sean William Scott called Bad Man.
Oh, cool.
It's based on a true story, loosely based on a true story, but it should be fun. It's kind of a dark comedy. So we've been filming for a little while, and I've got about 3 more days left. And then I'm done.
Dude, they did an indie film last year down in Montgomery on the docks. Did you see that indie film? The guys fighting with each other. Man,
I saw that.
Yeah, I thought that should have gotten an
was a
Emmy or a
viral
Golden
video.
Globe or something. I was like,
Oh yes,
yeah.
I do remember the fight. That was where was that?
Montgomery.
Yeah.
Was it
a couple
really?
hours south. Yeah,
Like people were
absolutely.
falling. People were just
in the
getting-
water and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
whoever
mayhem.
recorded
On the
that.
dock. It was on the dock. I did remember seeing that.
Yeah, whoever recorded did not stop recording until it was over. It was one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. Man.
Somebody get that guy a job with like Ken Burns. he's like, no, I'm getting the whole thing.
It really helped what people think of when they think of Alabama. It really helped our state a lot. You know,
100%.
it just did a lot for the whites. I'll tell you.
It just kept escalating.
Yeah, it
didn't
did.
And nobody would turn it off. Nobody had any wisdom to say, let's
when
these
that-
hockey fights, they even eventually break them up.
Yeah, when that black guy threw his hat in the air, I've never seen that move in my entire life, but that meant something to somebody.
That was a signal.
Yeah, it was the signal. That was the bat signal because people came out of everywhere.
When was that?
July.
That was in July. Do you
Yeah.
think they're still dealing with court cases?
Absolutely.
Like, fuck this. Yeah, a guy swam and off the boat, jumped
That's
in,
right.
yeah, and swam to shore and came out fighting like
That
he's
guy-
a hero. Didn't pause to wait to rest or anything. He
That guy
came
is a hero.
Yeah,
That's a real American hero. You should do a movie loosely based on that.
Yeah. I was hoping that's what he's down
Very
here for.
loose.
Well, the hardest part about writing a movie is the third act, and that is your third act.
Dude, the slow motion jump and swim.
Don't you want to know the whole lead up to that third act? To that big fight scene?
Think about wanting to fight so much that you go, I'm jumping off this boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a marathon, triathlon to get over to the fight.
Now we're fighting.
That's serious. You feel like you get through swimming and go, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
That energy's out of me.
I don't think he realized how far away he was from the. You know, when you're on a boat or water, it's kind of an optical illusion. Like you think, oh, I'll swim over there in 20 seconds. It's close. And 10 minutes later, he's okay.
Oh no, he was like, "This was a mistake."
Yeah, this is bad.
You think he was swimming and he puts his head up and he looks at, he goes, oh, fuck.
It's like, please be done fighting by the
Yeah,
time
he
I
was
get
taking
there.
them hard strokes, dude. Bam,
Yeah.
bam.
Well, it's a distance when you go from this to having to backstroke to dog paddle. You're like, shit, am I ever going to get to the fucking...
That's the key.
Yeah.
If you're changing strokes, it's a long swim.
Really long
swim. It's a long swim.
I did a triathlon once, and by the time I got out of the water, I was backstroking.
Yeah.
They were like, brother, you're going the wrong way, man. You're supposed to do a triangle. I was way off that way. They're like, turn around.
You've triathloned, right?
Yeah, I have.
How many?
And same type of thing. I get to the end of the swim, I'm backstroking it because I'm not trying to win these things.
No, you
give me
wanna
a
finish.
break. I just want to finish. So I go all survival strokes:
Right.
breast, back,
Whatever.
side,
Dog paddle.
you know, like dog paddle.
Have you ever
I'm just
not
trying to get out of
finished?
the water, man.
Have you ever not finished?
No, I finished all of them.
All of them?
Yeah,
You sure?
I did.
Okay, all right. I just got to make sure.
People ask you your time, you're like, I don't know, and I don't care.
No, that's just it. Like if you ask me my time, it's embarrassing.
Right.
But I
They were
finished
taking
them.
down the ropes. They were taking down the signs and everything.
I think finishing that's the whole fucking thing. If you're not a professional, you just want to fucking survive it.
Yes, it's rough too. I undertrained. By
So two people have
Same.
done a
I undertrained
triathlon.
so-
Has anybody else triathlotted?
I'm training right now.
You're
No, I'm
training
just
right
kidding. I'm totally joking.
I have not done it.
They had a thing on the news yesterday in Elk Run, Alabama, where a hound dog came in 7th place in one of those triathlon things.
That's the breaking
How'd he
news
ride
in
the
our
bike?
state, guys.
Huh?
That's
How'd
the
he
breaking
ride the
news.
bike?
the bike. That's
Well,
what
it was just the running part.
That's
The
a
5K,
biathlon.
So you're saying that the hound dog plays 7th in a 5K?
Yes,
I get it. I get
that's
it.
what I'm saying.
Well, you can
5K.
do teams. You know, they have the triathlon. You can do teams where one person does the swim, one person does the run.
I did not know that.
They have a individual, you know, and they also have like team categories. So maybe the dog is part of a team.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, I
What he
guess-
said.
Does that make it a triathlon, or does that make it a swim? If
It makes
you're
it
like
a swim.
the swim guy,
It makes it a swim.
So look, man, I've been checking out Wriggle's Picks, new podcast on YouTube with Darren.
With Darren here.
It's amazing. So
Thank
so
you.
what? Quick question about it, because the chemistry is amazing. I know you guys are friends and stuff at shows, but like, how did you guys meet? And
how
did
is
you
that
determine to
possible,
do
or
this
how did
podcast?
it happen?
Yeah, both.
I remember this story. Do you remember it? If you don't, I'm going to be so mad at you.
breaking up.
Oh boy, this is one of those relationship moments.
This
Here we
is
go.
where our friendship either takes it to the next level or we just quit right now.
I remember.
Nope.
Wait a minute already.
Okay, no, go for it. See what you got.
All right, I believe it was in Las Vegas.
Check.
Okay, you were performing because you're a musician and you were performing, and I came with a mutual friend of ours,
Yeah, well, you use that word friend loosely, but yes.
and we saw the show. And we came backstage and had a couple beers and hit it off. Right?
That was it, dude. You know what?
How about that?
All
There
right.
you go.
All right.
friends.
And then
Passed the test. That was,
you are so lucky.
Yeah.
What date was it? No, I'm kidding.
What
was I
shirt
wearing?
did I have on?
What was I wearing, Rob? What the fuck was I wearing?
Does this blue hoodie not seem familiar?
oh God.
So then after that, we realized we both lived in the same area and we both golf. So we made some plans to golf, and it was like the third or fourth time we were golfing. We went to this place called TPC Valencia.
Oh yeah.
And we carpooled because it was a little bit of a drive. And in the truck on the way down, for whatever the fuck reason, we broke into some skit with no one around, no reason to, just
doing a bit about how, because we got lost a little bit, like we couldn't find the entrance, I think, to the golf course. So we started doing some bit. I don't even recall what it was, but I remember I was like, "Oh, good, he picked up on the bit. He knows we're playing a bit."
Totally.
Because some guys are stiff. They're like, "What are you talking about?" Never mind. Don't worry about it. Just
dude, when that happened, I was like, "All right, this dude's fucking dope." And that was it. And then we've known each other for I don't know,
at least 10 years,
12 years, something like that. And then when he had Riggle's Picks, and he kicked it up again because well, I'll let you explain.
Well, I had Riggle's Picks there for a while because I did Riggle's Picks on Fox NFL for like 8 years, and it was basically I was picking against Terry and Howie and all those guys. Right, we all picked games, and it was a little segment we did right before the kickoff of the Sunday games. And it was called Riggle's Picks. And I just turned it in, kind of kept it going into a podcast. And I did it with a comedian named Sarah Tiana. We did it for about 3 years, and it was a different show because we're trying to do it every week. Mm-hmm. That's hard, especially because she was a stand-up comedian. She's on the road all the time. I was doing stuff, shooting in all kinds of different areas. So it was really hard for us to coordinate that thing.
Right.
But we did it every week. We didn't have any guests, though. We never had guests. It was just us basically running our mouths.
Yeah.
But it was difficult. It was really, really hard. And then she got pregnant and had a baby. COVID hit.
It wasn't your baby.
No, it was not my
okay.
baby.
Okay, good.
But thank you for clarifying.
I just want to put it out there.
The audience was wondering.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That's why I said it.
And then, so we shelved it. We just said, we're done. This is a good stopping point, because everything was going to hell in a handbasket. So then the writer's strike starts up last year, and I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Let's bring it back. And first person I thought of was Darren.
Yeah.
So I said, would you want to do it? And he was like, fuck yeah. So,
dude, he's so
we rebooted it, and then we recorded a bunch early, like got a bunch in the can.
Right.
Which is hilarious because a lot of it's mistimed. Like we released it, and it's like Travis Kelce talking about like the third game in the season, and here we are in the playoffs. Yeah. And so it was a timing thing, but we had to get it. Finally, we got everybody kind of rowing in the same direction as far as getting it launched and getting it going. But it's going well. We were doing interviews, which is something we have never done before, so it's been fun to do that.
Yeah, it's been a killer experience for me.
It's been cool, man. I've been checking it out and everything, and it's super good. Like I said, the chemistry is great, man. With you guys, the chemistry is fantastic.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very
it works. It's amazing. It's a great podcast.
It's fun. It's fun to do because there's no script, there's no agenda other than the guest, and then he and I will just be bullshitting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like we're in that truck, just doing a bit or not. It's really easy, and sometimes we'll stack guests, throughout the day. And it's just the people that he knows, John Olivers and the Travis Kelce's, that's killer, It's fun to get to know those guys a little bit.
Well, we'll give you guys an exclusive. Our next interview is going to be with Adam Devine.
Oh,
whoa!
wow.
Nobody knows that yet.
That'll be great.
We haven't done it yet. So next week, I think we're going to get a chance to talk with him, and we got a couple other special guests.
You want me to mention them?
No, I'm just teasing it up a little bit.
Yeah.
He's like, don't diarrhea all over the microphone.
Just give him a teaser. Just give him the teaser.
You just gave him the fucking tip. You just gave him the tip.
Come on, get
Just
to the shaft.
tip.
Yeah.
Get to the shaft. Come on.
No matter what, everybody always wins playing just a tip. You can't lose.
Rob, what kind of golfer is he? He talks a lot of shit.
Okay, here's the thing that sucks, and I don't like to say it, but he's good.
Oh,
He's good. He's good.
oh.
Well,
But you have to watch him because he is a cheat.
Don't you fucking no.
is he good with a pencil? Is that what you're saying?
No, I only golf
No,
in
but we
places
do
with
play-
erasers on the back.
look at this old foot wedge he's got right.
He's got that trick pocket.
Dude, I've seen that shit where the fucking you just go do that and the ball rolls out of your
Ball
thing.
just drops out of your.
Yeah.
What do you mean
outside
you've
your
seen
pants.
it?
I mean, I've heard of it.
Yeah. We do play with a guy, on occasion we play with a guy who he is one of those pencil whipping fools. Who's like, he goes, well, no, we had a double Dutch going, and then of course don't forget the double whammy and the triple Lindy and the da-da, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Next thing you know, he's pencil whipped this thing, and he's got you playing 5 different games, and you're like, so I owe what? It's like, but I know I beat you on every fucking hole, and he's like, you owe me 50, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
It's funny, that we have friends who we golf with repeatedly who every time you go golf, you go, why do I fucking golf with this guy? And then you call him the next week and we go, same time?
Yeah.
Weird.
Wow.
Is the pool of golf buddies that shallow?
Yeah, unfortunately, you'd think it'd be better.
I would think so.
You would think it would be
A
better.
lot of scumbags in
Is
golf.
it a hound? Are you golfing with a hound?
dog.
A dog?
Yeah. He just putts, though, because he can't use the driver.
He's the third leg. He just putts.
Now, Brent, we had another buddy, Brent, who's rock solid.
Brent Scaff. Just a little shout out to Brent Scaff.
Brent Scaff. I mean, he's a good golfer. He's a good guy, trustworthy. That's why I like golf too, because you can really size people up pretty quickly. Like, this cheating motherfucker.
I'll tell you what.
Or like, the guys who say, I'm out of this hole, and you're like, oh wow,
Honest.
Yeah, they're honest. The thing I really like about golf is when you haven't golfed with somebody and you're talking about your game and they're like, hey, so what do you, and if I say I'm a 3 handicap, there's a lot of people that'll go, right. Because it's pretty low. It's decent.
That is.
It's decent. Really decent. But
Did you just say you have a 3 handicap?
that's what
I
he's saying.
do.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
well, right now it's like a 3.
It's a humble brag, but yes.
It's like really.
Yeah.
No shit.
Really deep.
So when you haven't golfed with somebody and you're talking about your game or you're asking, you're talking golf, there is no more honest thing than when you get on the tee box and you have to hit the ball, because that is no bullshit. And then when you see someone's game, you're like, oh, they were honest about the way they play. Or it's like a character judge. You could go, oh, this guy's a fucking liar.
Yeah, I just now realized I can't play with you. I wanted to play golf with you next time you're in town.
We can
If you're
play.
a 3 handicapper, you're gonna be like, get to the green line.
No,
Let's
dude,
go.
we'll play. I'm down. I play with Rob.
Darren finds. I missed it. What'd you say?
Nothing. I said nothing. I said I love golfing with you, man.
I feel like that you didn't say that.
No, I did. Excuse me. Wait, guys, did I say I love golfing with you?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now you're all in on it.
No.
Yeah, you're going down.
This is some bullshit.
No. He said I can't golf with you. He said you're gonna be waiting for me to get the green. I go, it's cool, dude. I golf with Rob.
Do y'all listen to music? We play a speaker while we're playing.
Yeah.
All the time.
Oh, here's that's the best part. We do listen to music, and but I'll put on. There's this one band that if I put it on, he just fucking his games goes to shit. And so
Who is it?
I know a band. You can say it. Just say it.
there's a band.
Say it.
When I play their particular music,
What's the band?
SP. It makes me so happy because whenever he's got the edge on me, about hole 14, I can size up like shit. I'm way behind. It's time for a little SP.
And then I think, fuck, dude, who are those jokers? They're fucking horrible. They're horrible. I'm gonna fucking start putting on the other guys.
That's fucked up.
I watched that the other night, dude, and I was like, oh my God, Rob's so young in this.
Oh my God, nobody was healthy on that
Really?
shoot. Oh my God, we just ate so much fucking food. There was only Damon Wayans Jr. is the only person. Like every morning, he and Eva Mendez were down in the gym working out. The rest of us were eating pasta and drinking beer. We were gaining weight. We all looked so fucking bad in that movie. That's awesome. Because we were staying in this hotel down in Greenwich Village. We shot the whole thing in New York City, and we played poker every Friday night, when we wrap or whatever, and we play Friday night into Saturday morning, right? And so that wasn't healthy. And that was like a potluck. Everybody brings some food, and we drink beer all night and play cards. Well, then, you're there for like a month, but you only film like 12 days.
Yeah.
So the rest of the time, you got to occupy yourself. Well, shit. I'm going next door to this wonderful pasta place. I was loading up on pasta. It was cold. It was December, so there's nothing to do. So I gained probably 15 pounds.
You gotta and you're supposed to maintain your weight for the whole movie. You don't want to start the movie.
That
this way.
fucking went out the window.
That was one of the subplots.
Yeah.
Watching the weight gain.
And it was, all of us, we all were just so fucking unhealthy on that thing.
You said you watched that movie, last night?
No, I watched recently.
So it's so funny. We've been talking about this for a while about having you on. I'm sitting there. I was telling my wife about it. I cut the TV on and it pops up Step Brothers. And it's right at that scene where you're with Will Ferrell and you're just, pow!
Yeah.
I don't know why that scene makes me laugh so fucking hard. You're just saying pow.
It's super. There are movies and there are lines in movies that are super quotable, and that's the shortest, most quotable line in cinematic
Did you come up
history.
with that? Did you come up with that, or did that?
Yeah, yes, I did, because that scene was actually a reshoot. So we shot that like 2 months after the movie wrapped. Because the original scene, which is in the deleted scenes, which is a really funny scene. If you ever watch the DVD or you can find it on YouTube or whatever, but they have deleted scenes from Step Brothers. There's a scene, the original scene, I think I had a heart attack in it, and it's crazy. But Will's character was too passive. Brendan was too passive. So in the original scene, he was like, I was kind of going, you got the Catalina wine mixer, kind of throwing it on him. And he was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to try real hard and all this stuff. So when they looked at the final, they were like, no, he needs to be more aggressive. So they wanted to reshoot it where he's like, I want the mixer. I'm snapping necks and cashing checks. I want it, right? They wanted to be aggressive. Yeah. So we had to go back and reshoot that whole scene. So, we all kind of catch up. It was me, Adam Scott, and Will, and we show up and they've recreated the office. It was amazing. It's like Hollywood magic. They just built it. And we go in and we start shooting, and we're just literally screwing around, right? Trying to go through the scene where he's being more aggressive. And I'm Adam Scott's henchman, right? So whatever Adam says, I'm backing 100%.
No matter what.
Yeah, because I'm there to kill anybody in his path. So when he's like, Brendan, you fuck with my nut, and I'm like, I'm literally just mimicking everything he's doing, and we're improvising. So when he says things like, Randy here is going to eat your dick, right? If I looked at him and said, no, I'm not. Can't do that. Scene's over, right? Scene dies. So you have to go to the old improv rule, which is yes and, right? Yeah. So I agree. You don't have to say the words yes and, but you have to agree, which is, like enthusiastic. I'll eat your dick. Like and then you have to add information. So I said like Kobayashi, right? So like Kobayashi, and I start, and it's just like basic improv, stuff. Like that's what he gave me, right? He said, Randy's gonna eat your dick. So I had to say, and I had to celebrate it, like, you goddamn right. And this is how I'm gonna do it. And then so when he was saying, he was basically like getting in Brendan's face, so when he was saying things, I just started screaming pow as like an exclamation point to whatever Adam was saying. And for whatever reason, it just tickled Will. Will got a big kick out of it. And so Will started laughing. And then that was it. And then he's like, we're doing another take. Keep fucking doing that. So I just kept amping it up. But that was the whole movie. Anytime you do an Adam McKay movie, he is such an improviser. And he was the head writer for SNL. He came out of Chicago's, Improv Olympics, Second City, all that stuff. So improv's always a big thing for Will and Adam. So their movies are just free flow improv. And I mean, the Catalina wine mixer. I had one instruction: go up to Will and make his life impossible. Right. So I was like, all right. So I go up to him and his first thing was. Hey, I think the first take I did, I was like, hey, good job on this. Hey, mixer's going well, good well. How do you get a body off an island? And Will goes, is everything okay, Randy? I go, I didn't ask that, did I? I asked, how do you get a body off a fucking island, man? And I'm looking around, and he's like, are you in trouble? I was like, just how do you get a body off an island? And that was one take. Next take, I come up and I'm like, something I had a problem with, where do you hide cocaine? Where can I hide some cocaine? And he's like, I don't know where you would hide cocaine. But the thing about it is he played it so real because you have to deal. What if your boss came to you and said these things? How would you deal with it? How would you process it? So Will always played it beautifully. And then the last one was I came up and I just like, hey, you did a great job with this. I don't know what it is about your face, but it really
I love
me.
that. That was amazing.
It really fucking bothers me. And if you don't do something about it, I'm going to change it for you. And he's sitting there, and imagine he's sitting there processing, going, I don't know. And I go, we're going to fight. We're going to have a fight.
I love
the fight's coming. And he's like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight you. But he's dealing with it it in such a genuine way, right? And then I'm off, and that's the one they used, right? But we like improvised the whole fucking movie. You could probably make a whole nother movie out of the stuff they left on the cutting room floor.
Is it Adam suggesting things? Is it you just?
It's everybody. Like you try things, they work. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they work better.
Right.
And Adam McKay is a genius, so he'll throw out great ideas, and
Right.
you're like, oh, that's genius. I'm gonna fucking run with that. Or Will. There's just a lot of people having a lot of fun, and it gets to play. Like now, if you do other movies, like Will and Adam always had big budgets, so you could do.
I was about to say, it must
5 or
cost
6
the
takes.
movie house a lot to recut.
And there's a lot of time,
Yeah.
And so they have time and film on their side. You do an indie film or whatever, you get 2 takes and we're moving on because we got to get all these shots done in today,
Right.
So you don't get to play as much. But
I got a question.
Yeah.
So as you're coming up as a comedian, and you start getting roles, is there a day or a moment where you work with a guy like Will Ferrell, right? Where you're like, oh fuck, this is the real shit. This is this level. Can I do this? Did you have that moment? And was there a moment where you went, oh, I can fucking do this?
No, not necessarily with those guys, because those guys it was very comfortable. There was a surreal moment I had on Dumb and Dumber 2. My first day of shooting, we were in Atlanta. We're rolling down a highway, and I'm in a hearse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm in the back of a hearse, and on my left, in the front seat, is Jeff Daniels as Harry and Jim Carrey as Lloyd, and they're in their bowl cuts and their crazy hair and the missing tooth, and I'm literally in the scene I'm looking at both of them. We're having a conversation. I grew up watching Dumb and Dumber. I quote it my whole life. I still quote it today.
Yep.
And here I am in the scene with Harry and Lloyd.
Amazing.
And I'm sitting going, this is fucking unbelievable. All I want to do is call everybody I ever met and knew and just tell them, oh, you wouldn't fucking believe where I am today. This is fucking amazing.
It had to be stamped on your face, too.
Yes.
It had to be.
I'm sure it was, because on the first take, we're rolling down the highway, and action, and they're doing this. And I'm watching it, and I'm just thinking, because I didn't have like a line to like 7 lines into the scene or whatever. And I'm watching, I'm thinking, this is so fucking awesome. That's amazing.
So that's interesting, because we watch the film, and that's the last thing we're thinking is
Right.
you're really
Well,
Rob.
I realized like I got a line. Oh shit! Like I gotta focus. Like it almost caught me off guard, because you don't want to be the guy who's okay. Back to 1, everybody. We got to drive back 2 miles and start this over again.
The best outtake would have been him in the back on his phone calling all his friends like, "Hey, you'll never guess who I'm in the
You will
fucking car with."
Mom, have you seen Dumb and Dumber? Oh, it's amazing.
But it was that moment where I did want to call everybody, and I did. I took some pictures. I think I got some pictures from that. But it was my first day of shooting. It was like I literally showed up to set and met the guys, and then all of a sudden I'm in the car and we're doing a scene. I'm like,
That's
Jesus
fucking
Christ, this was
nuts.
fast. And in that movie, I played 2 characters. I played the first guy and then I played my brother,
Right.
twin brother,
Yeah.
or whatever. So I had a shaved head, and then I had this crazy hair, whatever. So it was a very interesting a movie to do, but that one was surreal. That was the only time. That's the only time I ever felt like, holy fuck, what's happening?
That's
I remember
so
they
awesome.
introduced your character, the second character. You were in complete camouflage up against the wall.
The camouflage was so good.
It blew my mind.
Yeah, they had to paint me all day. It was this lady from England. They flew her over, and she does that very 3-dimensional. And we did 2. We did one where I was in a stone wall, and then one where I was against a vending machine.
Yeah.
And it was intense. It was all day. I had to wear like this ridiculous unitard.
There it is.
And then
Right
they
there.
painted over it, and she was so good and meticulous. It took all day to paint. All
That's
day.
amazing.
Nuts,
What did
dude.
they paint on top of there, Rob?
Well, I
What
have
was
a like a unitard on
Yeah.
from my from
You
my
can't call
neck
them
down.
Hey, you can't say
Yeah,
that.
that's politically
Yeah, it's
incorrect to
2024.
call it a uniform.
It's 2024, brother.
He's unitarded.
Dude, that's amazing. That's crazy.
In
Dude,
2024,
that's fucking nuts.
I know, isn't that crazy?
What was it like working with the Fairley brothers?
Awesome. Awesome. They're so smart, so fun. Great golfers. We used to golf on the weekends. Jeff Daniels is a golfer, and Bobby and Peter are golfers as well. And it was cool because we were in Atlanta, and so they, being bigwigs, they could get us onto some really cool courses. Like we got to play
wow.
Peachtree, we got to play some of these other really nice courses that we normally wouldn't ever get a chance
Yeah.
to play. So, and I was always the tag along. I was like, what are you guys doing this weekend? And they're like, we're playing golf. Would you like to join us?
Riggle's
I
asking
guess
again.
if you guys are playing.
Yeah, let me check my schedule. Yes.
They're fucking swinging. What are y'all doing? He's thinking about hitting the course, y'all.
As they hear my cleats clicking.
He's out there stretching in the parking lot.
We're going tomorrow, bro. Okay, I'm just saying. I brought my stuff.
Oh, tomorrow I'm free. That's so funny. That's amazing.
Is their process a lot different than McKay's, or similar, or what's it like?
They,
I mean, both.
I think they have
renowned comedy directors.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's too much difference. They allow for improv. They allow for some play. But they also, they have a very clear, they're like, no, I want you to do it this way because this is going to pay off later in something else we're doing. So I need you to say it this exact way or whatever. But they're very open to letting things happen. And once they kind of trust you, they let you play a little more. Because Jim would come in and, Jim's, he's a, once in a lifetime talent. He really is. I don't think people give him, maybe they do give him the credit he deserves, but he is special when he turns it on. It's like a Robin Williams
That's
type
what I was
thing.
gonna say.
Yeah.
There's certain people that they can turn it on, and when they do, it's just electric.
Their brain just functions at a different level.
Yeah.
Well, you knew that when you saw him on In Living Color.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
back that far, you knew. You're like, watch him. He's going to do something huge.
Yeah. And then with the dramatic shit, I mean, he's just fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah, he can go in so many different directions and do what he wants to do. He's super talented. So they would let him run amok, and I would watch him do the same scene 3 or 4 ways, and that's not easy to do. To do it different ways and find something like in every take there was something great. You're like, oh god dang, that was amazing. And they go, all right, let's go back to one, and here we go again. And then I'd be like, and just as a fellow castmate, I'd be like, what's he going to do now? That'd be awesome.
Did he stay in character? Like I've heard, like
Like you
when
did for Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, the Andy Kaufman.
He's staying in love.
Just
I think he's
stays in,
still in that character.
yeah, he just stays in character even when they're not
I think
filming.
when he commits to his dramatic stuff, I think that's more when he locks into more the method style acting. I think when he was doing comedy, like when he was doing Lloyd, he wasn't Lloyd off camera.
Right.
That'd be great.
That would be fucking great.
Call me Lloyd. Call me Lloyd.
But I remember like he was very gracious too. Like that's another thing, I think, the media, you hear stories about certain celebrities and you think, oh, whatever, these guys are out of control or this, that, the other. They were unbelievably gracious. Everybody, I've been blessed to work with really gracious people. And Jim was incredibly gracious because like the first day he said, come to my trailer and let's have lunch, and I got to have lunch with him. He was very kind. We talked just about comedy and life and whatever. And it was awesome. And then my son showed up, and my son was very young at the time. He came to visit me on set, and Jim was sitting in his chair, and I was talking with my boy, who was probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 at the time. And I said, well, this is Mr. Carey. You want to say hi to Mr. Carey? And he goes, hi. And Jim looked over at him, and he curled up a smile like the Grinch. This. And my boy went, it just took his breath away, And I go, oh yeah, that's the Grinch. And that's what my boy knew him from, as the Grinch or whatever. And he gave him that smile. He goes, well, hello, or whatever. And he played with him, and my boy still talks about it. That's the one thing he remembers from being 5 years old. Not the first day of school, not anything else. He remembers Jim Carrey giving the Grinch smile.
That's awesome.
That's not a terrible memory.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool.
yeah.
What do people yell at you on the street? What do fans yell? Pal?
Pal.
Yeah.
I get a lot of not up in here.
Oh, really?
A lot of true story. I was filming something in New York, and a buddy of mine had tickets to Jets Dolphins game, right? So he's like, "You want to go?" I was like, "Yeah, let's go." We had a day off. It might have been during the other guys, as a matter of fact, but we went, and the tickets were right behind the Dolphins bench, right? And I'm sitting there, and Joey Porter was a linebacker for the Dolphins at the time, and he came off. And all these Jet fans were around me, right? And they stood up and they were like, "Fuck you, Porter!" They were just giving him hell, right? And he's looking at him, kind of, what are you going to do about it? Because he had just made a sack. So they're all yelling at him, "Go to hell, Porter!" And he points right at me and he goes, "Not up in here! Not up in here!" But here's the thing: I didn't know what he was talking about. I swear to God. So I was like, "Jesus Christ!" He scared the shit. Because he's pointing right at me like, "I'm going to kill you." And I literally, I'm like, "I'm not even a Jets fan." I'm like, "I'm not even."
We're doing
I'm
nothing
pointing
here.
at the other guys like, "It's not me." And then my buddy that I was with, he goes, "Dude, it's from the movie." And I was like, "Oh,
Thank God.
oh." So he was fanning out, but I didn't know. I thought he wanted to kill me. But it was not up
I
in
yell
here.
in the face
In the faces. That's my go-to.
every
yeah.
other day.
Yep.
In the face.
Just scream in the face.
So it's interesting because you say that and you said it and you go on do your life, but
Yeah.
it's part of a lot.
It
of
lives
people's
in
life.
pop culture
It's
forever.
awesome. It's fucking awesome.
It's fun. Those little decisions you make when you improvise, you don't think anything of them. They're throwaway lines, and you say them, and then boom, it's done.
Yeah.
And then some of them live on in the lexicon, and then some of them you have to live with the rest of your life.
Yeah, at the DMV.
What's your biggest regret line?
Yeah.
Oh, 21 Jump Street, when I volunteered to pick up my dick with my mouth.
That's a good one.
That was probably a bad choice. We've been shooting it was night shoots. We've been shooting night shoots. Everybody was tired. It was the last shot. We got to get it before the sun comes up. And so we're racing against the clock. Everybody's dragging ass. And I just got my ding-a-ling shot off. So they're trying to read the rights to me and all this stuff. And I go, "Ah!" I scream like, "There's my dick." I go, pick it up. And we're improvising, and they got the crew laughing. The crew was like, the boom guys go, so it was good. It got the energy back, right? But then like Jonah was like, that's good, do it again. So I was like, "Oh, there's my dick, pick it up. He's like, "No, we're not picking it up." And I go, "Help me." So I'm handcuffed. So I go down like I'm trying to get it. So then the directors were like, "Oh, that's hilarious." So they go get a banana, cut it in half. I was like, "You don't need to cut it in half." Whatever.
You're like, cut it in quarters. We're good.
Then they poured fake blood on it, whatever. And so I go down and I grab it with my mouth. When I come back up, I bit through it and popped back out of my mouth. So it looked like it shot out, right? So the whole time we're doing this, I'm like, I'm not worried because I'm thinking we're just entertaining each other and we're keeping the energy going. But none of this is usable.
Oh, fuck.
None of it's usable because the good people at Sony surely won't let this strike. This won't. Well, Chris and Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the directors, they kept it in the cut that they tested,
Right.
and it got a big response, and so they were like, "Well, we can't deny that," so it stayed in the fucking movie. So I have to live with that now.
My daughter was so excited that you're here. She was like, "It's the guy from 21st Jump, the guy that got his blew off, right?"
Yeah.
That's him.
That's him.
So that's exactly how she knew you were.
I like those movies, dude. Those
Yeah.
are funny fucking movies.
Great movies.
One of
Absolutely.
one of the guys, his Johnny, when you watch 21 Jump Street and they show the video of the kid taking the holy, effing
Yeah.
shit, the drug. It wasn't Johnny Pemberton, but it was the guy that actually took the drug, and that they show him tweaking out, in his room, like with the
On a webcam.
on a webcam.
Yeah.
He's in this movie I'm doing right now.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
So it's fun to see him again. He's growing up. He's a full grown man now, but
Yeah.
It's so hard to
That's
get
cool.
comedy movies made now. It's like,
yeah, it's tough. It's really tough, and especially at a budget.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It's all Marvel and it's all action.
it's
and
just great that you're doing it. You're in a financial place where you can afford to go, even if it's an indie film or something like that, you can go do it just for the sake of
I just
making
want
a
more
comedy.
comedies out
Yeah,
there.
of course.
That was such a fun time to make comedies, and there's so many great ones, and there's this gap, and I think it's a lot of people are just afraid of it right now.
Are there a lot of great scripts just getting passed on right now that are just sitting there that would be just...
No one's buying comedies right now. No
Wow.
one's buying comedies. Listen, I'm no expert on it. I'm guessing, but my guess is it's more business than show right now, and sometimes it ebbs and flows between show business and business show.
Yeah.
And right now it's more business than show, and that means return on investment.
Bottom line shit.
Yeah, and bottom line is an action movies is going to make money across the globe, where a comedy is only going to make money in America. because it doesn't translate.
Well, it's great though that you're a huge part of that, like that pop culture you're in all those movies, like all those movies that I watch that make me just barrel laugh. Yeah. You're in them.
Well, good.
Like every one of them.
The standards, the comedy standards, like especially of our generation.
Yeah.
Like you're in 95% of it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, honestly.
Well, I consider that a total blessing then, because I grew up in I was a child of the 80s. So Ghostbusters, Caddyshack, Stripes,
Weird Science.
Weird Science. Thank you.
Let's
That's
go.
a favorite call on that one.
Yes, sir.
But I quote those movies to this day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
quote those movies.
Roadhouse.
Yes,
dude.
Was it a comedy? I thought you'd be
I
bigger.
love Roadhouse.
Still quote it though.
I fucking love Roadhouse.
I'm on my break.
I fuck guys like you in prison.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That was a choice.
That scene when he says that, the actor that played him recently was talking about that scene.
Yeah.
And he said at the premiere he brought his mom.
Oh boy.
And his mom had no idea. And they're sitting in the theater and she's like jazzed because the fight scenes happen. He goes, I fuck guys like you in prison. And she stood up and goes, that's my boy.
I wonder if that was an improv line.
Yeah, it might be. Sometimes the moment just takes you, man.
Yeah.
That guy really did go to prison. He was an ex-con.
Oh, was
Oh,
it
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he did fuck some.
okay.
Maybe he was feeling it.
Trudging up some emotion.
He might have been in the
Yeah,
zone.
maybe he had an attraction to Patrick Swayze, a.k.a. Dalton.
Yeah. I don't know.
No one wouldn't.
I'm in.
No one.
Give me a time machine. I'm fucking that swing.
This is where it all ties together. I have a 58-degree wedge in my golf bag, and I had it engraved with a picture of Dalton, Swayze from Dalton, and it says Swayze. So my 58 degrees, that's my fucking Swayze. That's, you know you're a fucking nerd when you're doing that.
Let me ask you guys this: that movie, okay, that movie is in the I don't know, barrel of movies that
The
is just
Pantheon. You can say the
iconic.
Pantheon.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like the Pantheon.
At the top of the mountain.
We got vocabulary over here.
We're going with the big words.
So
again.
look, remake Roadhouse, yay or nay? Because some
Nay.
No.
I say
It's been
nay.
remade already with Jake Gyllenhaal.
No way.
Yeah, so Amazon Studios
Jake
made
Gyllenhaal.
It's getting a streaming release because they screened it and apparently they were like, no theater release. And Gyllenhaal was pissed, apparently, but it's getting a streaming only on Amazon Prime.
Oh, wait, is that with Conor McGregor in it too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
shit.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
right.
So it's this, you're talking about the same one.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I have I have a lot of skepticism about a remake of such a fucking great movie.
Me too.
Some of them you just leave them alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I wonder how they're going to do it. Is it going to be like it now, or is it going to be like a throwback, like
He's
a?
UFC
It'll be
fighter.
it'll be now.
It's now, I think, dude.
Really?
He's a
Yeah.
UFC fighter
That's why they're
that
doing it.
And
kills
shit
the
is
guy in the ring.
shit is so different now.
Oh, yeah.
You can't have the same kind of vibe
No.
that they had back then.
Cigarettes and
well,
cocaine
Yeah,
and
man.
all
Yes.
that, the good stuff.
And some dangerous guy who's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs
Yeah.
out there.
Just running the town.
Oh,
Who's got
Brad
this? Who's got
Wesley.
this big old ranch that he's just running out there with.
Brad Wesley.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
Brad.
no, there are no Brad Wesleys anymore.
No.
Fuck.
Yeah.
He's the Brad. He's Brad.
Damn it,
Wesley.
Charlie.
What's funny
Charlie is bad.
Dovey Doss calls me Brad Wesley because he's like, dude, you own you did this
Everything.
and that, and you're all the. He's like, you're like this, like that guy from Roadhouse.
You
I'm
are
like,
Brad Wesley.
That's great.
Wait, does that make me Dalton?
I don't know.
By the
dude.
way, he's always trying to claim Dalton.
He's
by the
trying
way.
to, yeah.
It's almost daily where he's like, "Does that make me Dalton?" I'm like, "No."
You
I
always
just
have-
said, "Let's go to Circle K and get some drinks." He's like, "Does that make me Dalton?"
Can I be Dalton? Can I be Dalton? Can I be Dalton?
It's relentless. It's never ending.
He is so cool, though. He's
He had a house here. Patrick Swayze had a house here on Smith Lake.
where?
On Smith Lake, where you guys will
I
be.
want to
at the
go
end
touch
of
it.
the, You guys will be literally a mile from there at the end of the month.
Really?
Yeah.
I
sure did.
I want to go touch that.
You could go lay in the beds.
What's that?
You can go lay in the beds.
I would like
Yeah.
to do that. No, that movie was. I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
Oh yeah, it's a classic.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
She was so flaming hot.
Yeah.
Did you pay attention to how she was doctoring when she was doctoring? She's
No.
doing this. Just
She's like
horrible
Look,
doctor.
she's like she's going, and yep, you're going to need a liver transplant.
You are a nerd. If she's on scene and you're looking at her
That's what
doctoring.
I'm looking at the acting quality, and I'm disappointed.
She looks in
We're
your
looking
ears.
at her, and he's like, that doctoring is bad.
Yeah, he's
I
like,
feel like Dalton.
classic
she totally
Darren.
didn't commit.
That is classic Darren. He missed the forest for the trees every time.
She's smoking hot doctor. He's like,
I'm telling you,
she's not doing that right.
she's not triaging him correctly.
Darren's like this, like she's looking with the little thing. Yeah, you got cancer.
Yeah. She could have played the part a little bit better. Yes, she was a smoke show,
Hey,
No.
but she could have made me
hold on.
believe.
You
like
just said
Swayze.
you just said it right there.
Sam Elliott.
She was a smoke show.
Yeah.
When that movie came out, I was actually I used to think all these things paralleled my life in some weird way because I was bouncing at a bar in Kansas.
Oh,
in
You were
Kansas City.
Dalton.
In Kansas City. So of course I went and saw the movie and I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you tell everybody your job that you were a cooler?
Yeah.
Not security,
Yeah.
but you were a cooler.
Well, me and the other bouncers at this bar, we were always like, let's be nice until it's time not to be nice.
You're like, guys, tomorrow night, taking us all, we're going to see Roadhouse again. One more time.
Like, Jesus Christ, Riggle, we don't have time for this, man. We got to get on the job. I was like, we got time.
Did you ever have to get in fights as a bouncer?
No, yes, but no. I was never like one-on-one. Right. It was always like it was
You
always
were
a
a
crew.
5-man escort.
Yeah, and they were never like. Thank God there weren't many fisticuffs. It was always just grab somebody and ask them to leave and kind of do that. Thank God, because now I look back, I'm like, why would I get my nose shattered or my face busted up for some guy's bar?
Yeah.
For at the time, probably $7.85 an hour.
Exactly.
Is the bar still open?
You were Steve.
Yeah,
It is.
it's still open. It's still down at Westport. Down in Westport, it's a kind of a bar district down in Kansas City.
Wow.
He was Dalton. You're Steve.
And it was the old Stanford. It was the old Stanford and Sons comedy.
He is.
He's like, I'm not getting my pretty face busted.
Well, when the fight would break out, I would just stand there with my arms folded and just nod at people. And they'd be like, "Are you getting in on this?" I'd be like,
He's going, why is he just nodding at us? Like, he's not helping dudes.
not doing
He
shit.
was bouncing like Kelly was doctoring. Not good, guys. Not good, guys.
The bar owner comes up. He goes, "Ah, shit, man, the liquor shipment's late." Riggle's like, "Hand me the phone.
They're beating some dude's ass.
I just
He's doing
ordered
that.
pizza so we can wait on it." Oh, it's so fucking
They're beating
awesome.
the dude's ass. He's doing this.
Yeah.
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 Stop, guys. Stop it. Knock it off.
He's like, "Hey, you got a contusion."
Get out of here.
Let's take it outside.
That's amazing.
Internal bleeding.
So, so you're doing a film in Alabama. I'm interviewing you now.
Yeah, this is
Hey, you're
great.
doing a great job, man.
It's,
Go right
it's my nature. So you're doing a film in Alabama.
"You know I'm doing a film in Alabama. We talked about
I
this."
know. I
down
read it in your bio. What's coming next for Riggle?
More Riggles picks.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Is
More
Holey
Riggles
Moley
picks.
still going?
What's that?
Holey Moley, is it still going?
No, it's the weirdest thing. They haven't canceled it, but they haven't picked it up yet. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Things kind of got derailed with the strike. So I just don't know. Disney's kind of in a state of flux.
Yeah.
So we're all kind of like, I don't know. I hope they bring it back. I'd love if they did, but I don't know if
cool
they're going
show.
to.
I was going to say, it seems fun as hell.
It is. And Joe Tessitore, my counterpart on that, he's a true professional. Like, he's a sports announcer. This is what he's done his whole life. But he's also he's just got a great sense of humor. So he knows like the dynamic,
He plays the stray guy.
Oh, he
so
plays
well.
it beautifully. He plays it just right down the line, which obviously makes it fun for me because then I get to be a jackass.
Yeah.
And but I don't know. I hope they bring it back.
Are you guys really watching it real time, or do you guys go back? Oh, really?
No. We get to we're up in a kind of a booth. They have us, and so we're watching on the monitors the actual play. So we're responding in real time.
Oh, that's
But
beautiful.
a lot of the setups and stuff, we pre-tape those. Like welcome to Holey Moley, and on this hole, whatever it is, double Dutch. That stuff's all kind of pre-written, but the actual gameplay when we're watching and responding to that's just us.
You're like Fred
moment.
Willard in Best in Show.
I'll take that. I'll take that all day.
No, that's the vibe. I mean, you're nailing it, and I'm not just kissing your ass. It is that. It's
I love Fred Willard. I actually had him on Riggles Picks several times to do little bits with me on Riggles Picks.
Oh.
And he was like, I remember one of the days we filmed him, it was his 76th birthday. And he's just the sweetest, funniest guy in the whole world. Couldn't have been nicer. And kind of a comedic legend. He'd been in the game, since the late 60s. And you've seen him in all the classics, So I was so glad I got to work with him before he passed. He's such a sweet guy.
The Waiting for Guffin shit that he did is
all of those movies, all of those Christopher Guest movies. Yeah.
Christopher Guest does it.
All of those. He just
Mighty Wind is one of them.
Oh yeah.
He scored so beautifully in all of them. All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this your first time in Alabama, or did you film parts of Talladega Nights in Alabama? Have you been here before?
We filmed most of. I'm sorry, we filmed most of that in North Carolina.
Did you?
Yeah, it was up in Charlotte. We filmed a lot of it in Charlotte, I had actually had a big scene in that, and it got cut down to about 3 seconds. So that one. But I have been to Alabama. I was stationed in Pensacola when I was a young man, and we used to drive over to Mobile and then down to New Orleans on the weekends.
Yeah, thank
have
you
a big old weekend, and then we'd come on back.
Thank you for your service, by the way. You did 23 years, right, Marines? Yeah. Now, how did that transition from military to? Were you always like this, like your commander,
obnoxious,
and just funny and just crazy?
No, I think comedy and that was always going to be part of the deal, but I did want to serve, so I did that, and I had a flight contract. That's why I was down in Pensacola, so I started that way, but then switched to the ground side because I wanted to pursue comedy and acting. I knew I wouldn't if I
Did
got,
your friends
if I
call you
pinned on those
fucking
wings.
crazy?
Huh?
Did your friends call you crazy for that?
No. Everybody was pretty understanding. Nobody believed anything was going to happen.
Right.
It's like that guy was like, I think I'm going to be a rapper.
Cool,
man.
All right, Larry, go for it.
Knock it out, man.
All right, Larry.
You got it, Larry.
Yeah.
Go get it, man.
MC Lair.
Yeah.
Larry.
MC Larry.
MC Larry, what's up?
Yeah. I think I'm going to drop some beats.
Yeah, I'm going to put this accounting down. I want to go kick some hot beats.
Actually, I just bought one of his CDs. He was selling them down here at the Dollar
Down
General.
at the Dollar General.
Still doing it.
Yeah, still selling
Still
them.
doing it.
God bless him.
After all these
God bless him.
Have you ever flubbed up a scene by forgetting lines? That seems like something that would be my whole life if I was an actor. Dude.
Yeah. I did it. It happens. It happens to everybody. I mean, I've been with like really, really seasoned actors, and everybody blunders a line or two, and you just go back and do it again. It happens.
Do you find better ways to learn your lines and memorize them? Are there better ways than others, or is it just like everybody kind of does it their way?
Everybody does it their way. I always like to use as many senses as I can. Read it, say it out loud, hear it, read all. I like to read the whole page, not just my lines, but so you get to understand the scene. Then the more you do it, and repetition. Just keep doing it. That way, when you get into the scene and you're in the moment, you know what they're saying, you know what you're saying, and then you start to understand more of the subtext, and then it gets deeper and deeper. But just rote memorization is probably what most people do right away. But I like to use all the senses possible. But I remember we were shooting an office. Episode of The Office where I played a character called Captain Jack and was on the booze cruise. And for whatever reason, that night, because we were filming at night, so literally from sundown till sun up, we were filming because we were on a boat out in Long Beach Harbor. Yeah. And I don't know what it was. I could not. There's a lake they wanted me to say. They wanted me to say Lake Wallenpaupack. I can say it now all day. I can say it now.
I can see how that would sound.
But for whatever reason, the way it looked on the page, I could not get it in my brain. Wallenpaupack. Simple. I still can do it right now. Easy. Wallenpaupack. That night, I could not get that fucking word out of my mouth.
Wow.
I could not get it right. And everybody was looking at me like, you all right? This should be easy. This is not heavy lifting, man. It's just Wallenpaupack. Couldn't say it. I don't know what my problem was. I finally got like one take where I got it out, but it was not smooth. It was like Wallenpaupack, like it was awful.
Like it was red.
Yeah. And I felt so bad because I was like, it's the lake they wanted to use. And I even suggested, is there a shorter one? Is there a shorter name?
Y'all married to this lake?
Yeah, exactly. Quite literally.
W.
But it happens. It just happens. You have a brain fart, or you get caught up on a word that you just can't make it work. But I got it to work, but it was very embarrassing, and I was still very green at that time. You know, like I hadn't had much work. My first break in show business, the first gig I ever got was Saturday Night Live.
Wow.
You know, and so it was like jumping into the deep end. You know, like so it was. I was very green in the beginning, and now, like anything else, the more you do it, the more experience, the more exposure, the more repetitions you get, the more opportunities you get, you start to kind of fine tune your skill set. But in the beginning, that would be the only time I ever probably dicked up.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, and it was just that one goddamn word. And now I can say it in my sleep. I wake up in the morning and go, "Walla Paw Pack."
Is there a lot of times where you've had to, like, I know doing the improv and stuff, there's had to be a bunch of times where you're like, I can't hold it together. Especially with Will Ferrell and them, you see like the outtakes and you like, I can't keep it together. I can't say it. I just keep laughing.
Yes, quite a bit. And those are I think that is the greatest happiness on earth is
I agree.
what I like to call the church laugh.
Not allowed to laugh.
When you're not allowed to laugh, or you're not supposed to, so you try to suppress it a little bit, and the harder you suppress it, and then that guy next to you can feel him starting to shake, right, starting to shake. Then you're like, God damn it, don't do it, you know, and you can't. It just comes from within. It just bursts out of you, like that's like right up there with climaxing. You know, it's
you can't even make eye contact with the guy.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, if I look at him, it is over.
That's that church laugh I'm talking about. Like I've been at weddings and stuff, and I can feel that my buddy next to me, you know, like trembling, and I'm like, God, don't do this, because then you're suppressing it so hard, you're sweating.
Yeah.
You know,
I got a quick story to tell you.
Yeah,
I got a quick story to tell you, and then we'll wrap it up. I know we got Chef Rob's cook for us and all this stuff, but the worst thing that ever happened to me like that. I'm not going to say where, but I went to church, you know, with some friends. You know, they invite you to church. It's like, I think it was Easter. And they're like, and I'm like, yeah, I hadn't been to church in probably 15 years. Sure, I'll go. You know,
I'm due.
So I better check in.
So I go.
Jesus?
I go, and it's this very rural, small church. Everybody's so nice, rural, here in Alabama. You know, in the middle of nowhere. And I go and I sit, and I'm sitting with my friend and his family. You know, and which it was so sweet. They invited me. You know, and the people immediately they get up to sing, and they have, and I'm not making this up, they have speech impediments, and so they are they go.
I was waiting to see who was gonna laugh
They
first.
go.
Well, the game's fucking rigged, man.
Well, you know, and I'm sitting
You
here.
can't talk worth the shit you want to say.
Yeah, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me! Like, is this a joke? You know
What
what I
kind
mean?
of impediment?
Huh? Oh,
Are we stuttering, a heavy tongue?
The kind of impediment that the word impediment would have been no chance for them to pronounce.
Okay.
Oh man.
So I'm sitting there, and they get up, and I'm not going to mock it or.
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
No, they're grown now.
But so they go up and they start the one guy, bad speech impediment, calls the choir up, and then the choir has three of them. There was only like 6 people, very small church. Half of them have speech impediments, and so they dive in.
Charlie, if you don't do an imitation,
Is this a meeting? I think this is an AA meeting.
No,
I think
dude.
you know
They dive right into like Amazing Grace or something.
Sure.
So like impediment-y. If that's a word.
Yeah,
Impediment-y.
And I'm sitting there and I'm
so impeded.
and look, yeah, dude. And so I look over at my buddy, and my buddy's looking at me.
God,
His
that
wife,
sucks.
his kids, and his parents are there. All right, and so I'm in this aisle, and I'm dumped over,
praying.
and dude, I'm trying to think about the saddest shit to keep from laughing. Right, like you're thinking about like a poor dog getting ran over, or
Come
just
on,
the worst thing.
let's be fair, man. The
praying.
deck is stacked against
Yeah,
you.
right? And so, look, so finally, I'm doubled over, and I'm like,
Please, God.
and I can feel my face is just so hot and blood red, you know, from holding it in. Finally, my buddy goes, do you need to go outside? I'm like, yes. Yes, absolutely. So, dude, I had to get up and leave and go outside.
Were you fake crying?
Yeah.
I would have been like,
wasn't
I'm
fake.
really touched by this moment. I got to get out of here for a second.
Dude.
Yeah, I caught the spirit. That's
Yeah.
Jesus doesn't give you more than you can handle. He sounds like he was piling on a little bit.
Man.
Yeah, I would have screamed out in tongues.
Yeah.
It would have been right on time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was the worst thing. I felt so bad, but you know, I was
that game was rigged. I think someone
cannot
said that
sit in
earlier.
there.
But yeah.
Yeah, but how bad did it look for you to have to get up and walk out?
I mean, I didn't care. It was either that or literally I would have laughed in everybody's face, the loudest, because I couldn't hold it in. I was a powder keg of emotion.
Yeah, it actually it actually ends up becoming laughter about laughing.
Yeah.
You know, not the original thing
Yeah.
is now you're just challenged. Now it's a laugh like, oh God, stop, and then you're laughing because it's just
Because you can't suppress the laugh.
Yeah.
And
Debbie
you're right.
Downer.
It's not about the thing anymore. It's about the controlling the laughter. And then I can't believe I'm laughing. And I can't believe I can't control it. And it's this snowball going downhill.
yeah.
You're literally edging your laughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're in a church and you're trying to think of
that
things.
leaving it.
To the point where it gets like, I can't fucking hold it anymore. Comes out.
And then you're questioning your character because you're like, well, I'm in a church and I'm having to think about all these mean, sad things to keep from laughing in these people's
Well, that's
face.
what, like, in my
gosh.
my scenario, when I was sitting I was at a wedding, and it was a fraternity brother, and of course, you know, I got other fraternity brothers sitting on my side, and when they started exchanging vows, they were hilarious vows, right? That's what got us going. And we all, the whole row, it just spread like wildfire, right? None of us said anything, but the whole pew was shaking because we were all fighting this laughter, right?
I've been there.
And we can't let it out, you know. And finally, like, one of the older guys behind us, like, you boys need to step outside.
dude,
we were like,
I got reprimanded. I think I was like 12, and my across the street neighbor and our parents decided to sign us up for an archery class. I don't know why. So we're in there, and there's like 10 people in my little town. And whatever reason, the instructor's talking, and my buddy and I just start. Like, something was funny, and then it just fucking escalate. We got kicked out of archery class. They're like, he's like, you're disturbing the whole class.
but that's those kind of laughs. The forbidden laugh is really
best.
You remember that forever.
So
though.
good.
See, everybody remembers those
Totally.
forever.
I
Then
remember
they
it clear.
Party laugh.
Yeah.
You
It's
called it a
infectious.
church laugh.
Yeah, church laugh.
Church laugh.
Yeah.
Infectious.
Side note:
that
who
was a
wants to go to
struggle.
the church that has 6 people and all have speech
Hey, I'm
impediments?
telling you.
I'm kind of in, man. I'm kind of in.
That's a tough one.
Charlie,
I knew I was in for it. I knew I was in for it when the guy gets up. You know, they're so small they didn't even have a microphone.
are you sure they weren't speaking a different language?
No,
maybe?
no, no. Oh, no. It was, I'm with y'all bowing your head.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
I want y'all come in. I want y'all come in, bang your head.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, no. This
Well,
is not.
that's not a speech impediment. That's just
Oh, no,
that's
that's
just Southern Baptist, man.
That's in Alabama. That's what we call hell whip.
Yeah, there you go.
It's one thing when you do it in front of your friends, but on a movie set, doesn't it like cost somebody like $50,000 a take or something?
Right? Just
I don't
like
know.
this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just rolling.
Well, that's why if you go watch like Step Brothers outtakes, you'll see that we just break all
are
the
my
time,
favorites.
you know, and you kind of have to get it together, but sometimes you just can't get it together.
I couldn't-
Like when I told Will I wanted to change his face, like he and I just got tickled by it. And we had to do that like 2 or 3 times before we could get through it.
I would have figured you'd had to done it about 50 times.
Well, seeing that on Saturday Night Live, that Debbie Downer. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, it's the best.
Debbie Downer.
Shit.
That is such a great,
Oh my God.
such a great moment.
And Lauren gets mad when people do that. He doesn't
Yeah.
like for them to
He
start
does
laughing.
and so it's a real, you know, you really don't want to break you know, in sketches. It's,
I love it when they break on SNL.
Yep.
Dude. I love
but
it.
sometimes you get so tired. The schedule is so hard and so long, and the hours are so long, and you know it's high stress, that you get to dress rehearsal or you get to show, and you're just wiped out. Like you're hanging on by a thread, and you get tickled, and there ain't nothing gonna stop it. Ain't nothing gonna stop it.
Jimmy Fallon getting cracked up on
Oh,
there.
and Fred Armisen every now and then he'll break, you know, and getting Fred to
It's
break
just
is
so
like
funny.
classic because he's pretty much a rock, you know.
Bill Hader.
Bill
yeah.
Hader broke.
Hater
The
broke a lot.
Californians. I like
the
that skit.
Californians.
He
I
broke.
I did a dive on that recently.
Yeah.
That's so great.
So good.
Sandler Farley, like Sandra used to say, he could barely keep it together if Farley was
when
in
they did the
in
Gap
skit.
Girls.
Yeah.
When they did the Gap Girls.
I'm starving.
Yeah.
The best.
They could not keep it together.
No. Yeah, there's a whole thing on YouTube. You can go and just watch just nothing but just skit after skit of them losing their shit.
Yeah. That one Debbie Downer. It was the last episode of the season. What's her name was hosting it? God dang it. She's a young actress. Always got in trouble.
Lindsay Lohan.
Thank you. Lindsay Lohan was hosting it. And
Isn't that amazing? You got that.
Endless pit of
You know, she's always in trouble. Lindsay Lohan.
yeah, but she was hosting it, and it was the last episode of the year. It was the season finale, and I think everybody was just exhausted. They'd probably done because you only do. It depends on the schedule, but you usually do 2 weeks back to back. Shows. Then you have a week off, and then sometimes you do 3 shows in a row. It's rare that you ever do 4. Rare. Mm-hmm. So it's usually a 3. But at the end of a 3-week run, everybody's just riding on fumes.
Toast.
So it's toast. And so I think they were coming into that last episode, and everybody was just ready for it. So they got
hilarious.
something tickled them all, and they just lost it. And that was a fun one to watch for sure.
That was so funny.
All right, we got to go. But tell everybody where they can find Riggle's picks, everything else.
Anywhere you go to get podcasts, I believe you can find Riggle's Picks.
Yeah, I think YouTube is that's where you get to watch.
Yeah,
it.
you can watch.
it.
You can watch the podcast on YouTube,
Right.
Riggle's Picks, and then. But if you Spotify, Apple, wherever you're at, you can find it.
It's everywhere.
New episodes drop when? Whenever?
Ooh, yeah, we got two. We got a couple more episodes coming out over the next 2 weeks, and then we're gonna have some new ones coming out in February.
Yeah, filming
Like
next
what
week.
day of the week does it come out?
Drops on Wednesday usually.
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
So I hope you listen. Yeah, and by the way, thanks for having us.
Dude,
it's been
thank
fun.
you guys.
Yeah,
It's been a
It's
lot
been
of fun.
awesome.
Darren Leader and Rob Riggle hanging out with us. It's been surreal, man. It's been awesome. Thank you
fucking
so
awesome.
much.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
It's cool.
Boom.
Thank you
I love
guys.
it.
When y'all get a hound dog on your team, you might make it.
Yeah, man.
That's the next step.
Bicycle riding hound dog.
That's what you need.
Call me before.
Listen, guys, thanks so much for tuning in again. X5 Podcast. Like this and
There you go.
like
Like and subscribe.
and subscribe.
Do you work at the church?
That's what I get. That's what I get for making fun or telling that story. See?
You're in the choir.
I'm in the choir.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe below. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
Amen.